Welcome to Dialogue. I'm Hamid Shirvani, President of California State University Stanislaus, and your host for this program. Dialogue features interviews with community leaders, elected officials, faculty, students, and friends of the university. Today I'm pleased to be joined by Mr. Mehran Khodabandeh, President of the Associated Students of California State University Stanislaus. In this role, he will focus on a student's path to graduation and preparedness to enter the workforce. Mehran is a senior majoring in political science and member of the Nu Alpha Kappa fraternity and is active participant in Greek Life United. Did I say it correctly? That's great. Mehran, welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Why don't I start first about you? Tell us a little bit about yourself, background. Where did you grow up? What did you do? What were your hobbies? Why did you follow the political science? Just tell us. So, your floor.
I grew up in Southern California in the Pomona area, so Stanislaus was really off my radar in that regard, but as far as what I used to do growing up, my parents were very active politically, so they made all their children be active politically. So that's where my strong political background and caring what's going on in the world, not strictly the United States, comes from. From strong foundation in my family where it was always news, and not just one specific type of news. It was never just Fox, never just CNN. It was all of them. So you get a well-rounded, neutral background and make your own, kind of viewpoint on a certain topic. But, my childhood was great. My parents immigrated here from Iran in '79. So they came here to give their children a better life. And I hope to accomplish what their goals are for me and make them see that them coming here and sacrificing as much as they did was not in vain.
That's wonderful. So what inspired you to then move up into Central Valley from Pomona?
Well, I was in a low-income area in Southern California, so a lot of the top talking points in high school and junior high weren't really revolving around college. So in high school, there was an AVID program, which was Advanced Via Individual Development. And the main core goal of this program was to get their students, 100% of their students, into college, a 4-year college right out of high school. My junior year, the fall semester of my junior year in high school, we took a junior trip where we visited 16 colleges up and down California. Stanislaus was the third college we visited on the first day. And I say this time and time again, Efren Galvan is probably the single most important reason why I came to this university, because the way he pitched this university, the way he made it sound, it was what I was looking for. A small university where you can actually build a relationship with your professors, but you're gaining the caliber of education that'll get you to the forefront in a career. And that's what sold me on Stanislaus. And, I applied to many schools, I got accepted to many schools, but Stanislaus was always in my top bracket.
That's wonderful to hear. So let me elaborate a little bit. So what you're really saying is that one individual person, Ephraim, was the major kind of points of attraction.
Yeah, I mean,
you were inspired by him.
Yeah, he was a graduate of Stanislaus. He was a student here, and the way he spoke of Stanislaus, the way he talked about his experiences here,
his passion, and
it was just that passionate argument that you couldn't argue against. He just sold the institution. And I hope, because my AVID class visits every year, and I give them their tours, and every year from my high school we have 1 to 2 students coming, and I hope that I have impact in them in the way that Efren impacted me and their decision to come here.
That's wonderful. It's great to hear. Thank you for letting us know about that. That's very important for us. Okay, before we go any further, tell us about ASI. What does it mean, Associated Student Inc.? Because our viewers, many of them would not know. They know student government, and in comparison to other universities, you are the president of a student government.
Yeah.
But ASI is something strange to them. So elaborate.
Well, we're actually a corporation. We're incorporated. We have our articles of incorporation, And our main goal is to strive for student needs. And we're the official voice of the students, as per the chancellor's word. He's made us the official voice of the students. So in that regard, we represent students not only in social life. We want to give them the best social atmosphere here on campus. We want to give them the best opportunities in their classes, but also we represent them in a political spectrum. We're their main facilitators of that political argument. We go to the Capitol, we go to these meetings, and we try to pitch on the behalf of students and say, this is why education should be priority. Students are the future of this state, not only the future of the state, the future of this country. We should be placed at a higher priority on the list. And that's our main job. We hold the fiduciary responsibility. We have this clientele, these students that pay into our fee, and we're $1 million corporation. So they pay into our fee, so we have to represent them to the best of our abilities.
So in order again to elaborate more for our viewers, you are again student government body who is more engaged, taking more responsibility, and are pretty independent so that you are able to serve the students better. This is a good definition.
That's one thing that we strive for. I mean, I as an ASI president have always strived to be a neutral factor in those arguments. I'm here to represent what's in the best interest of students. So whatever argument comes to me from whatever side it does, if it's a valid argument on behalf of students, it's the one I'm going to go with. Right. And that's where that independence that you mentioned really comes in handy, because we're supposed to be this independent body that comes and makes decisions on a case-by-case basis.
Bravo. So having said that, you're now the president of ASI on our campus, and certainly it has been a pleasure and honor to work with you so far, and we have had wonderful time together. But of course, you've been active in ASI as vice president and senator and so on and so forth, and you've come up through the rank. Yeah. So you're one of those few ASI presidents who really been there, done it, and are experienced. Now, tell us, what are your goals as president for this year?
Well, I like to call them our organizational goals, because I never like to take the limelight. I've always made the point to represent the organization to the best of my ability. But our organizational goals are anywhere from, we want to build a more communicative student body, not just with the administration, faculty, and staff, where they get the information from them, but we want them also to cross-communicate with one another. We want the art students to be able to go to athletics and say, these are events that we're having. What can you come support us? We want, honor societies to be able to go to Greek organizations and say, hey, is there any way we can work together on this community service activity? I want to build a more harmonious student atmosphere on campus. And that's something that I shared with the organization, and the organization felt that was a good idea. Also, we have certain other ideas. We're in the business of serving students. So whatever we can do to serve students better, it's at the forefront. So this comes from not only putting on events that show to the capacity of what ASI is doing and what students want to see happening for them, but also, looking into potential endeavors such as the SRC and bringing that back to student affairs, or, working with the union to build on the functional merge that we established years ago. So stuff of that nature is to build a more fluid ASI and a more fluid student body.
I know there are a lot of activities that are planned by ASI. So what are your key activities?
Yeah, we actually have our first major event coming up, and it's a community, faculty, staff, everybody's invited.
Right.
It's our second annual StanFest. And StanFest is a fair-esque, and what's going on at StanFest is we have a multitude of activities, from face painting, laser tag, all types of different things that are for families and friends. We're asking the community to come here because we started as celebrating our 50th anniversary last year, and we're keeping it going because we saw 600 children on Stanislaus' campus last year. We want to see that happen again, and we want to see it over the years increase. We want to see potentially 5,000 families come out to StanFest, and this is one of our big events that actually reaches out to the community. Another one, it's always been at the center port of student life, is Warrior Day. We have Warrior Day every year. It's a tradition. and that's every year in May. And the community knows about that because we make sure it's out there. We make sure people know that Warrior Day is happening. But it's also a great way for students to, show that essence of pride for being a Stanislaus student, because Stanislaus is one of the last universities in the CSU that offers that type of event for its students.
So it's the party day.
It's the party day.
Before the classes.
Before finals start, it's the party day.
So the last party.
The last party for the year.
That's wonderful. Okay, let's go back, take a detour. You mentioned that you've always been, since your childhood, involved in politics. You're interested in what's going on. You want to get engaged. So as a ASI president, what are the bills in the legislature that you're following or you're interested?
Well, right now, there is a wide variety of bills that we're interested in, not only at our specific CSU, but we kind of take direction from the CSSA, which is the California State Student Association.
Right.
So they have a very extensive list. Right now, at the top of our priority list is the DREAM Act.
Tell our viewers, what is that?
The DREAM Act offers the opportunity to AB 540 students who have done most of their schooling in the country, in the United States, even though they're undocumented. They've gone through the high school system. It offers them the opportunity to receive some sort of federal aid to go to some sort of institution of higher education. California's bill for the DREAM Act is sitting on the governor's desk, so it's made through both houses of the legislature here in California, and it's sitting on his desk. What we're doing now is we're trying to catalyze an effort, not only from students, but from parents, from anybody we can, to send as many letters to the governor's office as possible to sign this act into law. Because we really need to offer these students the same opportunity we all have, and that's an opportunity at education. Because the more educated you are, the more you can contribute back to any society you live in. Not just, we can't think selfishly in this regard. We have to make citizens, and we have to make people able to serve at a capacity with knowledge.
So again, to elaborate for our viewers, because they may some may not know undocumented what it means. So you're talking about these are children of illegal immigrants, but they have been here many years. They've gone to school and high school, and now they want to go to college, but they're not qualified to get any government aid, whether a state or federal government.
And that's the whole thing about that AB 540 tag, is that they have to have been in the United States at some, sort of in some sort of education capacity. They had to have been learning while they were here, and that's the only way it can be AB 540 qualified.
So, is there a time limit on that you had to be here 10 years, 5 years, or?
I don't know specifically off the top of my head, but I know it's all of high school is one of them. That's one of the inclinations.
So you have to at least have the high school here.
Education here.
Got you. Completed high school.
Completed high school here.
Got you. And then once it passes, this bill passes, the students then are qualified to receive Pell Grant, I suppose.
Right? Federal aid.
That is,
yeah.
Got you. That's, what else? Are there any other bills that is in the kind of...
Well, it's, right now, we're still making that transition with the Public Records Act. We're all our organizations are learning that this has been signed into law, so we're making that transition and trying to figure out what that Public Records Act entails. Gotcha. And figuring out what we should do and how our organizations have to represent.
So that's about implementation of something that has been passed.
So those are the two that are at the forefront. Everything else, I don't speak out of turn, because until my organization takes an official stance, or the CSSA takes an official stance, I don't want to speak out of turn on those.
So that's great. So you're focusing on few. Let's see what happens.
There's no point in focusing on the full list of 20 and letting all 20 fail.
Absolutely. Okay, sir. But let's move to another topic. I know from my experience with you, I know you have a great deal of interest in building town and gown relationship between the university and the community, and as a student body, at least leading your organization that way. What are your plans about partnership and any specific
Well, Associated Students has always made a strive to build partnerships within the community. We've had our Warrior Discount Program, which we took local businesses, and if they offered discounts to students, we marketed them here on campus. What we're doing now is we have the Warrior Life magazine, and what that does is we actually run spreads of businesses and organizations here in Turlock, and we run spreads in this magazine that students read. So it says these are student-supported organizations here in Turlock, but your students aren't only supporting them; they're supporting you as students. So it's a give and take relationship. We're sending them business while they're marketing their business here on campus. Also with StanFest, that's a big one. We always try to make sure we bring the community to our campus, because the thing is, we have a very beautiful campus, and we offer a lot here on our campus, and we want the public to know what Stanislaus offers and what the students have to offer to them. And another and the final thing that I want to get across is students here are seeking employment in the community. So we want employers and we want the people in the community to come to Stanislaus and ask us what they need, or tell us what they need in terms of workforce, employees, so we can best cater to our students and tell them, this is what you need to do if you want to work for this organization. And being in the Central Valley, we're at the hub of a lot of these large organizations, Gallo Winery, Foster Farms, Hillmar Cheese. A lot of these organizations need a future workforce, and Stanislaus can offer them that.
Tell me this. I mean, you're president of a student body. You've been active with the students. So my question is not directed to you, but it's kind of a general question regarding students. What the students here at CSU Stanislaus think of CSU Stanislaus? What's their view?
Stanislaus is a commuter campus, and we all know that. Students come here to get their education, and it's our duty as ASI to keep them here. But if you ask everyday students that come to school and actually get involved in the events we offer, they love Stanislaus. They're prideful that they go to Stanislaus because we make sure we offer them as much as we can. The commuters, on the other hand, come here for the education, and Stanislaus offers a great education, and they know that. The only thing that right now is because of the budget crunches, is they might not get a class that they have, but we're working on ways. I mean, me and you have talked in the past, and we're working on those ways to establish where students could get their bachelor's or their master's, get that education they need in a timely manner. So those comments that are coming up, I know we're working on ways to address them. So I try to reinforce it and say, this is what we're doing. This is how we're trying to make your college experience better.
But you admit that we have made enormous progress of taking care of the students.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's one thing to say that students haven't had anything, but that's not the case here on Stanislaus. We make sure that faculty, staff, administration, we've tried to make sure students have as much as we can offer them,
right,
even if it's in this time where the budget's being crunched.
Right. And particularly the courses they need to graduate.
Yeah, so these four sectors are, we need to come together. Students, faculty, staff, administration. We need to come together and make sure that students, who are the primary customers here on this institution, are getting what they need. And I think that's being done.
That's wonderful. What do you personally think, what is your view on, if you reflect on your own background, knowledge? Now you've been here 4 years and you're going to graduate at the end of this year. How did this university change you? What are the... who is the new Mehran?
When I came in here, I was very not set in my ways, but I was very cocky. I'm not going to lie about it. I was a very cocky individual. But through working under the tutelage of people like Andrew Jans, Cesar Mayor, Byron Camp in ASI, and learning from them and what they've done in that organization, it kind of gave me a balance between what I want to do, and it taught me how to be an effective leader, how to be a leader that earns respect and isn't demanding respect, and how to best serve the people that I'm trying to serve. So coming into Stanislaus, it was about me. I wanted what I can get from a college, what I can get from higher education, what I can get from getting involved. But towards the end, it's what I can give back and what I can do for others. And that's what I think I've taken the most, is this sense of community and I think that's going to stay with me, after college, and that's where I want to take my life afterwards, is serving a community, not just serving myself.
That's wonderful. We certainly are very proud of you. What's next?
I've actually been looking into Teach for America, and it offers something that always spoke to me. Is they offer that opportunity to build up an area that's low income, build up an area that doesn't have all the necessary capital or people to serve education, and they send you to a low income area in the United States, and you're actually teaching students. And I hope I can impact the life of a student, as my high school teachers did for me, and get them into a higher area of higher education. And wherever that sends me across the United States, I mean, there's always, I'm at that point in my life where hitting the reset button isn't too late. I'm only 21, so hitting the reset button isn't out of the question for me, and that offers me an opportunity to rebuild where nobody knows me and nobody knows about what I've done here at Stanislaus, and rebuild up again. So,
got you. Teach America. So, are you going to go straight, or are you taking any credentialing, or no?
There's no credentials involved.
Right.
The program is, it's funded through the U.S. government. So there's no credentials involved, but what happens is I will have the opportunity at a local institution to take my master's, and that's what I want to potentially do. And I'm looking for a master's in business or master's in public administration.
I see. So, what have you thought about? What's 5 years down the road, or what's the goal? I understand what you enjoy doing, but what's the goal?
Well, down the road, I would hopefully like to see, an MPO in my future. I would like to work for a nonprofit, somewhere along the lines of, contributing to education in low-income areas, or something in education. But, it's a hope of mine to work with students and help build up students. But, we'll see where that goes.
Well, will you be an active alum?
Yes, I will. I love Stanislaus.
So, can we get a contract with you and nail you down?
Yeah, I would be happy to come back to Stanislaus whenever. I'm already attending all the events that alumni come to now, and I've been going to Vines for two years now. Just as a guest. The barbecue fan fest out there in the at the baseball diamond. I love all these events that bring the community onto campus. I love going to these events.
Before we end this program, let me ask you this question. What is your personal view about how ASI can serve the student in the most kind of effective way?
The best way we can serve students is not tell them what they should think. We should give them all the information that's out there from all the sides. Make sure we detail out that information and tell them what is going on and make them come to their own assumption. We can't tell them we're doing this, so follow us. We have to give them reasons why. And it's my job as president to make them, to earn their trust. As the Associated Students leader, I'm supposed to earn their trust. So when I give them the information, they know it's valid. So they can take it and they can come to their decision and tell me what I'm supposed to do.
That's great. And how do you, we have almost 9,000 plus students. How do you reach everyone? Through electronically?
Well, email works, but I'm out there in the quad as much as I can. I make sure I know as many students as I can. I'm not afraid to talk to people. And if I can talk to 10 students a day, and I can ask all 16 directors to talk to 10 students a day, we're talking to 160 people. So hopefully we can get this accomplished. 160 people a day is not an issue. That's the best way to get to them. You meet 10 different people a day. It's not a lot to ask. Say, hi, my name is Mehran Khodabandeh. I'm your ASI president. It's not a big deal. If you ever have a question, come talk to me.
That's wonderful, Mehran. Certainly, we are very proud of you. I am very proud of you. And we wish you all the best. And we'll be working together for indefinite period in the future.
Of course.
Again, thank you for coming to our
Thank you for having me.
to my interview, and looking forward to working with you. This has been Dialogue. I'm Hamid Shirvani, President of California State University Stanislaus. My guest today has been Mr. Mehran Khodabandeh, President of the Associated Student at this wonderful university. Please tune in next time when I welcome another key figure in our region. And thank you for watching.
Thank you, sir.